Jam! Hello again and welcome to another fun-filled episode of Monday Night Magic here on the MTGcast Network.
Now on Mondays.
It's always on Mondays. It's just circumstances have led to Tuesday Night Magic several times recently. Top men.
But now it's Monday.
And this time, he's pissed. Or insert other sequel trailer moment. Anyway, I'm Chewie. That is Squee.
Hello.
Cluze cannot be joining us because he was kidnapped and dragged to San Diego.
For reason.
Yes. So that means it's just us this week, but that's okay because nothing happened, right?
I mean, we recorded last week. What could happen since then?
Exactly.
We announced new block structure. We announced ban restricted updates. We announced some Magic Online updates last week. I mean, really, this week is probably just like some small tournament nobody cares about.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like there's, 3 Grand Prix and a crap load of more news, right? Surely not.
How would that happen? That's stupid.
Hang on, let me go open the show notes. See, there's 3 GPs and crap.
Are you sure
load
there's
of
3
announcements.
different GPs? They all have the same city name. This might be a copy-paste error.
No, the links are all different.
Oh.
That's weird.
Well then.
Wait, we didn't look. Was there a Star City event this week?
Hope not.
Yeah, I hope not too. Timeout
Fairly
whilst
confident there wasn't, but
Wait, who said there wasn't?
I said I'm fairly confident there wasn't.
Oh, good.
Let's
okay.
confirm.
So it's not
Let's do live research.
Okay, well, this doesn't actually help because last week, Charlotte was not in the archive, and it wasn't in the schedule. It was in limbo, and we recorded on Tuesday last week. I had to do
True.
URL magic to find it.
Yeah, because it's listing Charlotte as last week, but yeah.
But okay, yeah, in deck lists, there aren't any from anything but Vegas. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So whoever's in charge of the tournament stuff on Star City's website, get your crap together, man. We almost missed Charlotte last week because it didn't exist anywhere.
I think we only even knew it was happening because we're like, whoa, it's in Charlotte. Awesome.
Yeah, that is the actual only reason we were aware of it. Anyway, so, yes, the rest of announcement week happened. Now, in the show notes, you will find a variety of links. The first one will be the announcement week and weekend recap, which has the links to all of this announcement week stuff.
Yeah.
Just so it's easy to find. But below that, we will also have the links ourselves just in case.
Yep.
So we recorded on Tuesday last week, which means that from Wednesday on, we haven't talked about any of that on this show.
Correct.
All right, then. So on Wednesday, the actual announcement day happened. The one that,
The one that was promised to us.
Yeah. All the other stuff was sort of extra, but this was the announcement of upcoming products, like announcement day is usually.
Yeah. Wednesday is normally reserved for when you ban a new card off schedule, but they didn't do that this time.
So how do we do this there, Bill? Do we just run down the list?
I think running down the list is the fairest way to do it. I mean, we're not going to go too far on these because most of them don't have information beyond a date and a very brief description.
Yeah, and if you want...
Because more will happen on that as we get closer to them.
Exactly, and if you want more depth, then you can go listen to the last episode of the Mana Pool, which was 467, I think. I just spent 8 hours rendering the video. You think I'd know? Yeah, 467. Okay.
It'll be the one when you go to YouTube and you look at it. It will look exactly normal, but you'll know more time and love went into it.
Yeah, it took over 8 hours to render it, and I have no idea why. But we'll get into that never. So,
yeah.
Let's go announcement week. So announcement day, starting at the top, they are announcing Ixalan, which they already announced.
I like that description they put for it.
Yeah, we've got Pirate Vraska and Dinosaurs.
I'm okay with both of those.
Yeah, it seems good. It seems way out of character for Vraska, but then, come to think of it, we don't actually know much about Vraska.
I mean,
so maybe
she's not really known for liking dinosaurs.
I don't really think she's known for being a pirate either, though. Yar.
I mean, maybe she really doesn't like to buy things. We don't know.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yep. Pirate Vraska versus Dinosaurs, this set. Sold. Stamp it, print it, good.
Yeah, and the picture has Vraska with some deckhands pointing back at dinosaurs. And in the full art, there's a little pirate monkey with a hook hand. I'm not kidding.
I also appreciate the fact that these dinosaurs have feathers, which is kind of neat.
Coming more in line with our modern understanding of dinosaurs.
Yeah. They fought against Gorgon. This is why you only find fossils. Read a book.
Yes. What he said. So yeah, Ixalan comes out September 29th, because Ixalan is the next set after Hour of Devastation. You want to hear more about Hour of Devastation? Well, that's later. That didn't happen until Friday and Saturday on announcement week.
Yeah.
The second set of Ixalan is Rivals of Ixalan, January 19th next year.
Which also has a neat picture.
That was another dinosaur. Yeah, this is very Aztec-y, right?
Yeah.
Ixalan.
I think it's surprising that Rivals of Ixalan has a set description, like, story-wise. Because, I mean, it doesn't seem all that related to the description we got for the first one. But
they're both talking about the legendary golden city of Orazca.
Yeah, but more a matter of, like, you know, no secret can remain undiscovered, no treasure can remain uncontested. You know, you got to go out there, you got to find it, you got to get there. And then the second says, yep, you found it, good job. All right, now let's do something about it. I mean, it's not like we didn't think they would, but it's just sort of weird to see the narrative of the block, both halves of it before we get there, as opposed to lately they've tried to be a little more subtle with it.
That is true. But I mean, it's a big high seas adventure with dinosaurs, so...
And to credit, we knew that Kaladesh was building up towards, you know, social unrest based on the name of the second set, so who knows?
Yeah. What are the chances that there will be, in either of these sets, a kill spell or a counter spell or something called Clever Girl? Wouldn't that be awesome?
I'm going to call it that no matter what it says. That would just be the fan name for it. I mean, I'm just looking forward to getting my lightning bird. Like, we have to get one. It'd be awesome.
Your lightning bird. Oh, because it's very Aztec-y, right.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get Quetzalcoatl or something.
I was like, what does that got to do with dinosaurs? No, the other part. Got it. We're good.
Gonna be awesome.
Speaking of Ixalan, we also have Explorers of Ixalan, an out-of-the-box multiplayer magic experience. I really wish I could read. I've been frustrated because waiting on this render. We're starting this episode, God, like, at least 3 hours later than we wanted.
Yeah, about 3 hours after we'd originally planned on starting it.
You want to start early? Yeah, let's start early if this thing's done. It's never done. Anyway.
Yes, an out-of-the-box multiplayer magic experience that challenges you to defeat your opponents. Weird. Along the way as you search for the Lost City. Begin your exploration on November 24, 2017, also known as Black Friday.
Oh, is that really? Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's the day after Thanksgiving.
Oh, God.
So that'll be a thing.
But yeah, this is a 4-person thing. It's got 4 60-card decks with no new cards, so that's good. I'm sure a bunch of the cards will be from Ixalan, of course.
Hopefully.
And why is it 3-letter code EO2?
Probably E as in, like, extra?
Maybe?
Or explorers?
Or extraneous? But it comes with 4 60-card decks, 20 double-sided tokens, 50 game tiles, 40 counter pieces, and 4 deck boxes. Which means, the way I described it on the fly, because I learned all this while we were talking about it on the Mana Pool, it's like a 4-player board game that happens to use magic as part of the rule set. Which sounds awesome, actually.
Yeah. So, I mean, I appreciate that approach.
Yeah, it's sort of like the way they've redone Arch Enemy is to be a 4-player thing you can just take out of the box and play. It looks like they're going to explore that marketing space.
I also just like this as being an opportunity to pull some people in who might not want to play Magic but still enjoy board games as kind of a middle spot. It will depend on how the actual playing works, obviously, and we don't know more about that until probably HasCon, when they'll inevitably have like a whole copy of it sitting out there for people to learn how to play. But I think it'll be pretty neat to see where it goes. Like, they're exploring new opportunities for stuff, and if it works, this may become a recurring supplemental product.
Yeah, And I'm cool with that. Why not? Okay, then. So moving on. One more Ixalan thing. The Art of Magic the Gathering Ixalan book is coming out January 2nd of next year. So there you go.
Yeah, we get those every time we go to a new plane. Or return to an old one now. It'll be interesting to see if they continue to produce books at that speed, if we get some of those like one-stop planes, now that we're not strictly tied to the 2-block structure. But that'll be for the future to figure out.
Yeah, it will. Okay, moving on. A new dual decks. Yay, dual decks. This one.
Oh, dude, something's fighting.
What?
Somebody's fighting somebody. They're gonna versus.
Yeah, they are. Who's versing off this time there, Bill?
All right, so fish.
Yep.
Versus the superior land goblins.
Sure, we'll go with that.
It's like this is a dual decks Cluze versus more Cluze. So naturally, he's not here to talk about how much he's happy about this. But I mean, it's the time-honored war between frying pan and fire for the Merfolk. It'll be great. They will probably have a lot more synergy than the goblins, and the goblins will probably not care and throw lightning and fire at them, and it's going to be amazing.
Or, rocks, because goblins.
Oh, yeah. There could be rocks. It's all possible. I mean, they may inflate the toad. We don't know. I appreciate all of these, goblin things that we're getting, because honestly, having dual decks aggressive versus aggressive might actually just be a lot of fun. But I have a feeling there's a chance that they'll do something weird and different with it. Because the Merfolk, back when they got full tribal support in Lorwyn, were not an aggro tribe. They were a weird, gimmicky synergy tribe that did a lot of milling and card draw and stuff like that instead.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it's not going to be mill versus aggro, because that's always weird. But if it's straight up aggro versus aggro, this could be a lot of fun. And that could be a good supplemental product to, get people who are more interested in simple and accessible magic in, because aggro versus aggro is really easy to teach. But we'll see. Again, we don't know too much about it other than the fact that it also comes out in November. This one on November 10th.
Yep.
So another thing to stuff into your Black Friday dreams.
Yay, Merfolk versus goblins. So, while we're on Black Friday, how about From the Vault Transform? Comes out November 24th with 15 of our favorite transforming cards. Double face cards. In the video, they specifically said double face cards, so, Yeah.
Which makes sense. I mean, we've got enough of them now that we can do that, first of all. I wouldn't be surprised if we got both halves of the Angel Meld card in this, possibly with new, panoramic stretch across art.
Maybe?
I mean, when else are they going to put them in From the Vault? Because, it can't just be, Garrick and Arlen and Huntmaster. You've got to actually use other cards here to get to 15 worth putting in From the Vault.
Well, I mean,
Addison would probably be there.
Let's see. What did Mike call as almost sure things? Huntmaster, Delver, and there was a third one that he called out specifically. Also, the possibility of at least one of the Flippy Planeswalkers.
Yeah, I would honestly guess when you've got to get to 15, we're probably going to see both of the Flippy Planeswalkers. We'll probably get Huntmaster. We'll probably get, Delver's the iconic one.
Oh, you meant Garrick and...
original Garrick.
No,
Flippy Garrick.
I mean, the Flippy Planeswalkers, from Origins.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking of those.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking of the ones you mentioned, so...
I was thinking of, original Innistrad Garrick, who has the cool jacket.
Yeah, because it's chilly out there.
Because he was the first 5 ability Planeswalker.
Yay, was.
We'd probably get him. We'd probably get, Arlen Cord, because Werewolf Planeswalker. Huntmaster is arguably one of the most successful Flippy ones. Delver seems like a shoe-in. Mm-hmm. We'll probably get the land, Hanweir Garrison or whatever.
No, that one had Meld.
Not a Garrison,
the one that makes clerics and then turns into a giant demon.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, whose name has completely fallen off of both of our
We know which one it is. You don't have to tweet it at us. We just are blanking right now.
Yeah.
It's been in a lot of decks lately. Cursed City, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It'll probably be neat.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will probably get it just for new art on a Delver. Because if they don't include Delver, they made a mistake. is the only way I can say that.
And if they don't have new art on Delver, they probably made a mistake.
Yeah. It's like you're not getting this just because you think that this is, oh, sweet, new Delver, it's going to be worth a fortune. No, you're getting it because Delver is the poster child for double face cards. So,
yeah.
Seems inevitable. But hey, it's a From the Vault, so if you want one, just probably go ahead and pre-order it now.
Yeah, like right now. Actually, probably go ahead and pre-order it when it was announced, so...
Yeah, so go back and do that.
Yeah. Yeah. So the next bullet point here, we actually saved for last on the mana pool, so I won't steal that from that show. But on April 27th, 2018, so we've got Hour of Devastation, and then Ixalan, and then Rivals of Ixalan, and then this. We're going back home to Dominaria, and the name of the set is Dominaria.
Because admittedly, we've never had a set named Dominaria.
No.
It's never been included in any set name either.
Nope.
It's just the setting for Magic for like half of its life.
It's just home. And we finally get to go back.
Yeah, we haven't been there since we broke it.
Yeah. So yeah, we were there 11 years ago in Future Sight when we broke it. And then we took a small peek in Magic Origins, which was 3 years ago? I think it was 3 years ago.
Yeah, it was a little bit ago. But yeah, we broke it, we bought it, and then we put it on the shelf for a little while because it was messed up. But it'll be fun to go back. Like, I think they'll have the right mix of nostalgia without, it being a total mess. And if you've been sitting around wondering if any of our, nostalgia characters are still around, well, maybe. Like, actually, we don't know anything other than they're going back, right?
Kelly Diggs, I think it was Kelly Diggs, tweeted that, yes, we're going back to Dominaria. Yes, it's being rebuilt. It's not, just a god-awful wasteland. And we will see familiar faces.
Okay, then. Now we find out the nature of Squee's immortality.
Sick.
Very unlikely that we're going to figure that out, but we'll see. Should be fun. Most likely, whoever they commissioned to do lands for that set are going to have a field day with Easter eggs.
Oh, God, I hope so.
It would be really nice to see a lot of that. But as I think I saw mentioned on Twitter and in other places, it's going to be really unfortunate if the knowledge that Dominaria is coming overwrites people's excitement for Ixalan, similar to how Avacyn Restored was completely skipped over for Return to Ravnica. Because they're announcing this really far out.
I don't think so, but only because of Pirates and Dinosaurs.
I mean, Pirates and Dinosaurs are a good way to compete against nostalgia hype.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, this stuff's not coming out till April of next year. So we've got 10 months to let that simmer for a bit.
Yeah.
Should be awesome.
Moving on, we've got the, it's called Masters 25, the 25th anniversary edition of the Masters set.
Yeah.
Now, in the video, did you watch the video for this that went with this, by the way? I didn't until, after we recorded the Mana Pool.
No, I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, well, okay, 1, you should. It's cute.
Yeah.
But 2, Rosewater points out that when they announced Iconic Masters, the general public, us included, thought that it was going to be iconic cards from Magic's history. And no, Iconic Masters is just like the iconic creature types.
Oh, that's different.
It is. So Iconic Masters is actually going to be 249 cards from across Magic's entire history, and Rosewater said in that video, from every set. So serrated arrows?
Okay.
Probably serrated arrows.
Most likely.
And will provide a drafting experience like previous Masters products. And that comes out in March of 2018. It's only a few months after Iconic Masters comes out. Because Iconic Masters is coming out in November.
Yeah.
And this is in March, so it's only 4 months later. 5.
Same note, also, 25th Anniversary Edition Master Set is only 6 weeks before Return to Dominaria.
I mean,
that's going to get...
That makes sense.
Tight. I mean, they do this every year, I know that, but that still feels really tight. To be hitting nostalgia, followed by probably more nostalgia.
Yay.
But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Since I don't play or buy the master sets, it really doesn't affect me at all. So, whatever.
Yeah. Well, the thing that's sort of surprising to me is that, they have to get that out because later on they're also going to be bringing back core sets. But that's right. I was going to say they could probably move that to the summer a little bit so that you could have the Masters stuff to offset the decidedly aimed at more new players who probably don't care about Masters stuff, but I'm sure they've put a lot of thought into this.
Probably.
So we'll see.
And yeah, the new core set, which is, according to this, called Core 2019.
So yeah, they're post-dating it so they can keep them on the shelf at Target longer.
Yeah. Comes out July 20th. That'll be the set after Dominaria. And the other final, completely unexpected news, a third unset is coming this year in December.
Yeah, that no one expected that.
And it's called
Let's be honest.
Unstable.
No one expected that.
Nah.
That's completely blindsided. Like, they could have called the set Unexpected and we'd think they were trolling us. Like, there's no way anyone would have guessed, oh, clearly we're getting another unset, because we probably have to tell people what unsets are at this point. The last one came out, what, like 13, 14, 15 years ago?
Unhinged release date. Unhinged came out in 2004. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, then. 13 years ago.
Jeez.
Okay, so the unsets are essentially parody sets, which have silver borders, which means, one, you can't use these cards in anything other than for funsy scenarios. And two, they can do whatever they want with these cards because they don't have to follow the rules of Magic the Gathering. They're generally ridiculous and silly, and everything from bad puns like Rock Lobster versus Scissor Lizard versus Paper Tiger, kind of dumb things, all the way up to, start a game under the table. To like MC, where you like get bonuses if you announce the creatures as you cast them with a big and booming voice. Like, it's the kind of thing that you really want to go to a pre-release for, just for the nonsense of the experience. The reason that people actually buy them generally is because they get amazing lands, and we assume that will happen as well, because you can't use these cards in anything but these fun scenarios. So they will probably have absolutely beautiful and amazing lands in them. We'll see. We don't know much of anything about it other than that it's happening and it's December 8th, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
They're only going to be available in English. They will be packs at normal $3.99 MSRP in the US. And they're going to be 216-ish cards. I like that ish they put on the end of it in the product information.
That's pretty funny. I didn't
Still figuring that one out. But like, this will be the fun part of preview season then when we go into that, because it's just going to be ridiculous, and it's going to be a whole lot of, did you hear about blank? I'm like, no, what does it do? I don't know, but it gives you denim walk. And stupid things like that are just going to be all over the place. So that'll be something to look forward to with your friends. Like, this will be a lot of fun. Yeah,
in the video, Rosewater mentions that it's the fun of an unset with modern design sensibilities. So that actually sounds neat. I have never remotely cared about the unsets. I missed Unglued. That happened while I wasn't playing. And then Unhinged happened like around the time that I came back, and I just didn't care.
I think it's going to be one of those things where I go to the launch event and I keep an eye on my local stores to see if they're doing any group things.
Yeah.
And that's the only context I ever get packs of it in.
Yeah.
Because you don't just buy them to open them. Like, you're going to read the image gallery online. You're going to be really entertained. You're going to laugh it up with your friends. And then you're probably going to move on with your life, which is why they don't make these very often.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're a lot of fun, but they go through all the trouble of making a set, minus the playtesting. And then people don't buy them because you can't use these cards in anything. But if they put some nice lands in them, people want to get them for that. If you go out and have fun with your friends, it'll be an event. And just to hang on to some packs if you can get them. It'll be funny. Like, they'll make fun gag gifts at Christmas too. Like, get them for your friends. They'll laugh at it. So yeah. That was all on Wednesday.
Yeah.
News.
So that was Wednesday.
Yep.
Thursday was pretty easy. All they did was announce that Pro Tours in 2018 are no longer going to be rigidly scheduled for 2 weeks after a set release. I
think we knew.
We wondered if that means they were going to stop with the naming convention of Pro Tour set name or not.
I think they probably will still have set name, but
Just not be straight up 2 weeks.
well, I think what they're hoping to do by delaying it a little bit is to have more of that exploratory time in the meta. Because
Oh, that could be.
if, a month in people show up with decks that haven't just been ground to death in SCG, then it'll shake things up again. Whereas right now, we seem to largely settle into our habits after the Pro Tour, which is only 2 weeks after the set comes out. So maybe this will spread out the lifespan of it and get people playtesting and announcing stuff longer. But it'll still ultimately, the goal of the Pro Tour is to push standard. So I suspect they'll still tie the names to it. It's also just easier than going, oh yeah, it's like Pro Tour Honolulu, which one? Like, it's a little easier to tie things to their set when you name them that way.
Yeah. And the other bit of news is that the 25th anniversary Pro Tour will be a Team Trio event, which hasn't been done since Charleston in 2006.
Yeah. That's special. Now, as they noted before, they were trying to distance the core set from the other sets a little bit. So it's not just like Pro Tour core set like they used to, like Pro Tour Magic 2013 or whatever. Like, no. It's going to be a little different. It's going to be special. It's going to be teams. I think it'll probably be a lot of fun. It's the way that I always say about team events and then don't go to them. But they look like the people that are into them are really into them. And historically, the top of team events are generally really stacked, right?
Yeah.
Like, a team Pro Tour is going to be really intense, especially now that Magic is pushing this team atmosphere. I think this might be part of that adventure too, to push the teams themselves to also put up, trios. But it should be pretty neat. Like, there's a link in here if you want to. Actually, it's not in here yet. They said that they'll be sharing more information soon, but not just yet, which is fair because it's literally a year away. But they'll be giving us more details on the formats and all the stuff that go into that later.
Probably.
But they said very soon, but not quite ready yet.
Yeah, and the team Pro Tours, the pros always look back on fondly as awesome. So that's good. And like I said, this will be the first one they've done in, well, by the end it'll be 12 years.
Yeah.
So it's good to know that they're gonna go back and check out some of this old stuff that they haven't done in a very long time again next year. Neat.
Yeah.
So that was Thursday. Oh, we completely forgot to mention something on the show last week.
Oh.
Yeah, in the banned and restricted list update, they actually said there won't be another banned restricted update until after Pro Tour Hour of Devastation.
Right.
On August 28th. We meant to say that last week and it just fell off. So, and look, it's back on a Monday when it's supposed to be. Nice. So yeah, no more bannings when the set comes out. None of that. Going to be after the Pro Tour, so...
Yeah, I think that's partly in response to the reception that they got last time where they, uprooted standard with bannings the week before the Pro Tour.
Yeah.
So they're probably trying to avoid that this time.
Exactly. And also now that Aetherworks Marvel is gone, maybe they looked at the sets and went, I don't think there's anything that's going to break any of this.
Hopefully.
Yeah, especially since...
And if it does, well, it'll be a broken Pro Tour, and then after they ban it, then it'll refresh the format again.
That's true, yeah. But especially since we've seen the new Nicol Bolas, and we went, thank goodness there's no Marvel.
I'm pretty confident that's related.
Would not surprise me.
Oh, that's sick. We'll talk about that in a moment.
Yeah, speaking of which, let's go to Friday, where they just threw out a whole mass of... what's the word I'm looking for here? Well, previews.
Yeah. Because now that they've announced all the stuff that's a year away, let's talk about what's coming up in a month.
Do we have to?
I mean, we don't have to talk about it in depth, but...
Fair enough.
We've got Hour of Devastation. We've got trailers. We got promos. We got Planeswalker decks. We got mechanics. We got cards. We got invocations. And above all, we got a lot. But we don't have to talk about most of it because we're not going to go down it card by card. That would be insane.
Yeah, that's what other shows are for.
Yeah.
Shameless plug. We should talk about the mechanics at least.
Yeah, I think we talk about the mechanics and a few of the key pieces of it.
So hey, you remember Mama, what was it called?
Mama.
Embalm. There we go. I was like, mummify? No, it's not called mummify. What the hell's it called? Embalm. You remember embalm?
Yeah, dude. It was like flashback for creatures.
Yeah, and you get a white zombie that's more human than human. You get a white zombie creature that's basically the same
covered in bandages, but the same card otherwise.
Yeah, well, now we've got Eternalize, which is the same idea, except they're black zombies, and they're all 4/4s.
It does sound superior in the case of smaller cards.
Yeah.
So naturally, all of them are smaller than 4/4s, so that it's always an upgrade.
Yeah.
According to the comments in here.
And that means it's also more expensive. Like there's a 2/3 with Vigilance for 4 mana here, the Steadfast Sentinel, that eternalizes for 6 mana. Because then you get a 4/4 with Vigilance.
Which is pretty sweet, admittedly.
That's pretty awesome.
Like you would...
Oh, go ahead.
Well, like you would normally be like on the fence as to whether or not you run a 4/4 with Vigilance for 6 mana. But in the case of this one, you can run those things because, you know, at least in limited land, this is something that will keep you alive long enough to then get it back as a bigger creature. Like, you're not just running a 6 mana thing and hoping you get there. This is just good synergy as long as these cards are appropriately scaled at the bottom end.
Yeah. And, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's Embalm, but it makes them 4/4s and black zombies.
Yeah.
And, of course, they all have new tokens, so...
Yep.
Seems good. And they're eternalized because apparently Bolas has raised them from the dead to serve him more.
More betterer.
Yeah. So then we've got our limited mechanic here, Afflict.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's Afflict and a number. And the way it works, Afflict says whenever this creature becomes blocked, defending player loses X life, where X is the number of Afflict. So the Kenra Eternal here has Afflict 1, it's a 2/2 for 2, and when it becomes blocked, defending player loses 1 life.
Yeah. Mechanically, that sets up weird situations like, oh, they're attacking me with this zombie jackal warrior. Watch out for that. I can block it and lose a life and potentially open my creature up to whatever tricks you've got. Or I can straight up lose 2 life by not blocking it and open myself up to whatever tricks you've got. And I think it's going to be one of those things where, like, you're going to look at the colors your opponent's playing when you make these decisions. Because if they're running white, you might not want to put your creatures in combat with this stuff because attacking or blocking is a big clause on those things. But if they're running green, that's like, oh, I'm not going to block it. Cool. Pump it by, like, 5. Like, oh, ew. And likewise, if you, kill it, well, it's been blocked. You still lose the life. So, yeah, like, I think you're right when you call it a limited mechanic. It's probably not going to matter much for constructed applications because attacking and blocking happens, but you generally want more out of your creature than drain some, or not even draining, just like making someone lose some life when they block it.
Yeah, like...
Unless they print something busted with it, like maybe an awesome, like 1/1 that makes them lose like 4, so it's like a backwards fireball. Actually,
yeah. In the card image gallery, there's only one other card that I see with Afflict. And
oh, really?
The Wildfire Eternal. I'm just going to read this to you, okay?
Oh, cool. I haven't seen this yet. Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so for 3 and a red, it's a Zombie Jackal Cleric.
Sweet.
It's rare. It has Afflict 4.
Yeah.
It's a 1/4.
That's cute.
But whenever it attacks, it's a rare, mind you, so it's got to have more text. Whenever it attacks and isn't blocked, you can cast an instant or sorcery from your hand without paying its cost.
Oh, no.
So now you have a choice.
I mean, so you block and you lose 4 plus whatever else happens in combat, or you don't block and you take the 1 and then you get like Cruel Ultimatum or some nonsense.
Yeah,
that's cute. I like that.
It is a nice little bit of design.
Like I don't really foresee this being a thing that takes off in constructed unless they put it on some really aggressive cards, but I think it'll make limited interesting because you're giving people bad choices all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And admittedly, that's a lot of fun. When you're giving them bad choices via your creatures rather than via your spells, that's just kind of like a bonus. It adds an extra layer to it. So, cool. It'll also give creatures some room to play when your opponent, puts those annoying blue spells at like -3, -0 them or whatever. Like something could still happen.
Yeah.
We'll see where it goes. But that's cool. Like I didn't even realize that card was there, but I'm glad it is.
And then, of course, Exert is back.
Yeah.
But there's a twist. So in Amonkhet, all Exert happened when it attacked.
Yep.
When it attacked, you could choose to exert or not, and then things did or didn't happen, right?
Yeah.
And that's still the case with some of the cards in Hour of Devastation, but some cards also exert as part of an ability. Like an activated ability. It'll be a cost. So, like, they've got a thing here, tap it and exert it to add 2 mana of any one color to your mana pool. That sort of thing.
So the end result is you've tapped it, cool, it stays tapped next turn.
Yeah. Unless you have a way to untap it.
Right.
But that's the same as it always was for Exert.
Yeah, unless you cheaty face it. So this allows them to put Exert on things that aren't necessarily combat abilities, which was a lot of what we got before.
Yeah, like this thing, you can tap it for 1 mana of any color, or you can tap it and exert it to get 2 mana of any color right now at the cost of next turn.
Yeah. Which, sometimes that's what you want.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to mana dorks. Like, if 1-up is all you need, then that's fine. But if you can skip a turn ahead, then it doesn't matter that it falls behind a little bit because you're essentially 2 turns ahead.
Exactly.
And another creature. That could totally be worth it. It'll be interesting to see how that works. Again, you'll just have to police and make sure everyone remembers what's exerted, what's not. Like, hang on to this little, punch-out things. I'm sure they'll continue to be useful here.
Yeah.
And untap effects get that much better.
And I'm sure that the punch-out cards will be in this set, too, because we've seen cards with exert and brick counters in the card image gallery already, so...
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll say, like, 1/2 will be embalmed, 1/2 will be eternalized.
Yeah.
Not embalmed, exerted, and the other half will be internalized. Eternalized, damn it. Words. It's
internalize. I'm gonna eat it.
And then the other thing listed in mechanics is deserts. So we had a couple of deserts, or a small handful of deserts in the last set.
Yep.
Well, now we have more, including a cycle of common deserts that create colored mana that have cycling. Hey!
Although, note that these cycling, at least from the samples here, have that color of mana in their cycling cost.
Yeah, they're like the cycling lands from, I think it was Onslaught, except they cycle for 1 and a color.
Yeah.
And enter the battlefield tapped, add the appropriate color to your mana pool, or they cycle for 1 and that color. And there's a cycle of all 5 of them, so... And
in practice, that's cool. Just remember that this isn't like you can just throw them in there as your splash necessarily, because you're kind of losing the value of the cycling if it's your only source of that color.
Right. And also there are a bunch of cards that care about deserts being on your side of the board or in your graveyard.
Oh, yeah, that's neat.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch, too.
Because you're cycling them.
Just from the few cards that are already in the card image gallery, there are a handful of cards that say, do a thing, and if you control a desert or you have a desert in your graveyard, do another thing.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah.
So that's the extra incentive for running these deserts, even if you're not using them strictly because you want to cycle. So cool. Synergy.
Yay. So there you go. That's the mechanics. For a more in-depth look at all of these, of course, go listen to the next episode of the Mana Pool.
All right.
That's what we do.
Yep.
Now, back to the card image gallery. There are a few cards we just have to talk about. You know that, right?
Yeah. We're not talking about all of them, but there are some standouts.
I mean, they're all in multicolored for me.
Well, so there's a cycle of them that I find interesting, but we don't need to read individually.
Ooh, which ones?
And that would be the cycle of the planeswalkers getting their butts kicked. The Gatewatch loses, essentially, is your takeaway from this. There's a cycle of 5 defeat cards, which take each of the, iconic color planeswalkers in the Gatewatch team. So Gideon, Jace, Liliana, Chandra, and Nissa. And they all lose. It's their names defeat. And each one is a color hoser. Each one costs a single mana, if I remember them correctly, of their own color. Or is it vary? No, Nissa's varies. Okay. Yeah, they vary. Okay, so I take that back. Jace and Nissa vary.
Both cost more, yeah.
Right. So essentially they're all a spell that does something to hose that planeswalker's color. And then additionally, if it's affecting specifically that planeswalker's spell, any Jace, any Gideon, any whatever, then something else happens. So, like the first one that I saw, just for example's sake, because it's quick and easy, Gideon's defeat. Single white instant, exile target white creature that's attacking or blocking. If it was a Gideon Planeswalker, you gain 5 life.
Because all the Gideons can turn into dudes and punch you. That's what he does.
Yeah. But, you can obviously use this on any white creature that's attacking or blocking.
It's still fine because it's a single white to get rid of an attacking or blocking white creature. Just if it happens to be Gideon, you get 5 life out of the deal, which is not only does it remove the Gideon for a single mana, but you get 5 life. What?
Yeah, you pretty much rewind the last time Gideon hit you.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's just like, rubbing his face in it, which is kind of what Nicol Bolas is doing in the flavor text of all of these too. He's very arrogant. These read like arch enemy cards.
Oh my god, the flavor text on these is brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a full cycle. There's 5 of them. From a story perspective, this does not bode well, but on the same note, the Gatewatch can't just expect to just show up and then we beat those Eldrazi all the time. Like, they rolled up into Nicol Bolas's house in a plane where he has pretty much been the boss, the God Pharaoh, as it were. And they're like, okay, cool, we'll just do our thing and take care of this. And it turns out, no. No.
Not so much. Yeah, Mike has had a feeling for, I don't know, like for weeks now, maybe even a month that...
I think you commented to me about this too.
Yeah, that the Gatewatch might just lose because, how did he put it? They came up with a plan for the Eldrazi that just barely worked.
Mm-hmm.
They tried a variation of that same plan on Emrakul, and it wasn't working until Emrakul decided, you know what, it's cool, you win. Emrakul decided that. Emrakul's like, nah, you guys got it.
She's like, I'm gonna go chill on the moon. It's cool.
What was next?
Then the Kaladesh.
Oh, Kaladesh, where they showed up and stuff went haywire, and they just sort of happened to win. And now they show up here, just days before everything pops off.
Yeah.
No prep work, and it's, one of the worst villains, like actual villains, not just cosmic forces, actual villains in the multiverse, and they're just gonna waltz in and fix it? Okay. And when Mike told me that, I went, huh.
I mean, admittedly, Nicol Bolas has experience dealing with planeswalkers.
It's true.
The Eldrazi are bigger, you can't fathom them, whatever, but for the most part, their MO is show up and eat things, and that's that. And, the people in Kaladesh had no idea what they were dealing with. But when you just roll up and you're like, Gideon's like, oh, I'm just going to go do these trials. Like, why? It's like, because I'm amazing. Like, oh, okay. What you doing over there, Liliana? I'm going to sit here and eat fruit. Oh, all right. Nissa, what's up? It's like, this is a desert place. I don't like it. Okay, well, I guess we'll just go, oh, crap, it's the dragon. This is very much the people that just sort of charge into the MMO raid and get their butts kicked.
Yeah, they are attempting to Leroy Jenkins it, and it's just not going to work.
No. And so, from a story perspective, it's good that they get a loss because every time they lose, it, adds some uncertainty to the outcome of future events. And if they should lose to anyone, it should be arguably one of the oldest planeswalkers and one of the best schemers and one of the ones who really and truly is comfortable sitting back and exploiting every single one of your weaknesses with no hesitation. That's a situation you should lose in, especially if you're just bouncing around and hoping for the best. I'm still waiting for them to go back to Ravnica and find out that because Jace left, he ruined everything. Because there should be really consequences for them going, I'm going to go be a private eye for a set. Okay.
Secret agent man.
So anyway, like I said, we're not going to read all the cards, but that's a cycle that's really interesting.
Yeah, that's really neat. So we need to talk about Nicol Bolas, the God Pharaoh, then.
Yeah. Nicol Bolas, not the Planeswalker deck one, but the good one.
I actually kind of like the Planeswalker deck one, too.
Yeah, it's not bad, but this is going to be the one that probably gets banned if they decide they're going to ban something for being too good in the face of a set, per the last time with Emrakul. But, I mean, hey, there's no Marvels, so you actually have to earn your ridiculously busted giant 7-mana Planeswalker.
Yeah, right? So we have Nicol Bolas, God Pharaoh. Hey, Bill, why don't you tell us what he does? Because I'm sure I'll have to read it later this week.
Okay, so I know it's going to shock you, but he's a Planeswalker Bolas, and he's a mythic.
Oh, and he's
Right?
Grixis colored. Surprise!
Yeah. If you recall, the old Nicol Bolas was 8 mana. This one is 7, so he's gotten a little bit lean. He's been working out. And it shows.
He skipped leg day.
Yeah. So it's 4 blue, black, red. So there you go. 7 mana, a little bit easier to cast than the old one. Starts with 7 loyalty, which the concept of Bolas loyalty is questionable, but okay, sure. He's got 4 abilities because that's what broken cards get. And 2 of them are plus abilities. So remember, you're starting at 7. The turn you drop him, he can immediately get +2 to 9. And so the +2 is target opponent exiles cards from the top of his or her library until he or she exiles a non-land card. Until end of turn, you may cast that card without paying its mana cost. And note that's casting, not putting on the battlefield. So you're getting all the benefits of casting it. You just don't have to pay for it.
Isn't that one of the problems with Aetherworks Marvel? Yes.
Yeah.
Is the answer. Yes, it is.
Although, admittedly, here, like, you just go until you get to 1. You might not dig very far, and you might not get anything that exciting. Like, if you pop up a counter spell, well, then you feel silly. Mind you, if you've resolved Nicol Bolas God Pharaoh and they had a counter spell coming, you make your opponent feel really bad. So
it's a moral victory, which is
it's a moral. It's the most Bolas way to get them, I guess. But yeah, like this will be the thing where you pop up your Oblivion Ring effect and ruin their day, or you drop a creature, even if it's a small one. He's protecting himself because now he's at 9, and you just pulled a blocker out of their deck. That's going to be frustrating. And if you happen to hit their bomb or throw off whatever their plan is, bonus. Because it's just straight up non-land. So that's his +2. So that puts him at 9 on his way to a big ability we'll go to in a second. So he's also got a +1, which is pretty straightforward. This is a little more group friendly. Each opponent exiles 2 cards from his or her hand.
Oh.
So considering you've dropped this 7 mana Planeswalker, you've probably exiled your opponent's hand.
Probably.
It's very likely. Maybe they get to pick, but being down 2 cards when you're plussing your Planeswalker is pretty sick. Because if they've got any cards left, hopefully for them it kills a Planeswalker, in which case they have no cards. And you've probably got other things going on. So that's still working really nicely in your favor. Yep. And again, that pluses you up 1 to 8. So now we got the first minus ability. -4, Nicol Bolas God Pharaoh deals 7 damage to target opponent or creature an opponent controls.
And since it says opponent, that also means Planeswalker.
Yes. It can be redirected to their Planeswalker.
So whatever over there that needs to take 7, it takes 7.
Most things die to that pretty definitively. And mind you, again, 7 mana Planeswalker. How much life is your opponent likely at when you've resolved a 7 mana Planeswalker in blue, black, red? 7 might be half their life or more. It might just kill them. It might not be a whole lot, in which case you're not going to do that. You're going to get something else out. But like as an option to just straight up 7, life loss or 7 damage, that's disgusting. 7's a big number. 7 mana deal 7 is like more efficient than Fireball. Pretty rough. So that's pretty disgusting. And again, that's a -4. So if you just drop him to do that, you've still got 3 loyalty left on this guy. And they probably can't attack because they need all their blockers now. There's a lot of room to play there. And finally, from all those plussing that you were doing before, if you can get up to 12 or more loyalty, you can -12 and exile each non-land permanent your opponents control.
That's,
all the creatures, all the artifacts, all the enchantments, all the Planeswalkers. And just for funny, for giggles, it's that they control, not that they own. So since you were plussing your way up there and possibly stealing some of their stuff, that's still there.
That is funny.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm going to take this guy from you. Okay, cool. I'm going to take this guy from you. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to take this guy from you. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to get rid of all your stuff and hit you with your 3 guys. Ugh.
Seems fair.
Yeah. So it does what Nicol Bolas is supposed to do, which is drop a threat on the board that immediately makes the game a lot worse for your opponent and becomes a must answer or die scenario. Because if you drop Nicol Bolas and you use either of his plus abilities, from that point on, if they can't deal with him, you can have 2 consecutive turns where you just -7 them. Like, who can take 14? Very few people can take 14.
I mean, I couldn't take 14.
No. I don't think I could either against a deck that's running red. Like, that's just one of those things. Like, it looks sick. I'm sure it's even more sick in practice. I don't think this is going to be the overhyped card. The only question at all is, can I cast this or cheat it out before I die? Because Nicol Bolas is not causing you to gain life. And it's entirely possible that the +2 can hit an artifact or something and not make a blocker. So if you're dead on board and you resolve Nicol Bolas God Pharaoh, exiling cards from your opponent's hand is not going to kill anything they have on the battlefield. Exiling cards is not going to kill what they have on the battlefield. You can -4 and kill one thing, but you could still die. So it's not like Bolas just shows up and auto saves you. But if you've got anything going on that allowed you to survive until you could cast this, you're in a very nice position afterward.
Yeah, I mean, this is only going to go in heavy control decks anyway. So
yeah,
if you're that dead on board, then you probably
very
conceded
few
already.
cards would save you.
Yeah.
Like, the only card that I can think of that would only Planeswalker that would universally save your butt when you get to a really bad state like that was probably either original Nicol Bolas, because original Nicol Bolas did a lot of other busted stuff, would cost 8. And I think original Gideon Jura for his ability to completely screw up your opponent's attacks for 1 or more turns.
Yeah.
That's really all that I can immediately go to. I'm sure there are more examples and people will remind me on Twitter, but like that's a lot to ask for out of a card. And even though this costs 7 mana, you have to survive long enough to get there. But you're right. In a control deck, when you build your deck to survive, you're probably running a lot of creature kill. You're probably running a lot, like potentially counter spells because you've got blue in here. You're running answers the whole way through. And if you stick Bolas, that just is the win condition.
Oh, yeah.
Like keep them alive, kill their stuff, -7. Cool, let's up a little bit, get some more things. Cool, -7. Okay, and now I'm just going to burn you out. Or it's not that hard to envision. Stick Nicol Bolas, keep Nicol Bolas around for 3 or 4 turns. Don't bother with the exile effect. You're already killing all their stuff. Just get to 12 and then -4, -4, -4. Like, that'll kill anyone. Like, there are so many avenues to victory when you get this card out. So, the question is, can you do it? Can they do anything about it?
Like Nicol Bolas should, when he hits the board, there's a sense of inevitability.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, look, it's that guy. I'm going to die. And Nicol Bolas is like, yes, you are. And he says it so matter-of-factly. You just want to punch him, but you can't because he's a big-ass dragon god pharaoh, and you're just a stupid Magic player.
Yeah. I imagine a big, booming Goliath voice coming out of him.
Yeah.
Peter David or something out there. It'll be great.
Keith David?
Why did I say Peter? Yes, Keith David.
No idea
I don't know why I said Peter. That's weird. Yes, Keith David.
Peter David, the chubby white guy who writes comics.
You know the one. Yeah. His voice. You don't know what he sounds like. He sounds like Keith David, I promise. Don't test that. But yeah, so we got that. That's cool. And
yeah. I mean, the other one, of course, it's the Scorpion God.
Yeah, take that, other Planeswalker. You just look so much smaller next to Nicol Bolas. In your tiny little frame with 3 abilities. Yeah, but yeah, Scorpion God.
No one cares about smut. Sounds too much like smut.
That's terrible. I guess that's true. You are tested.
The Scorpion God costs 3 a black and a red for a 6/5 legendary god.
Which is interesting.
It is. I wonder if there will be other gods that Bolas brings with him. Wouldn't that be cool?
Well, like, he's interesting because of how his card plays versus every other god you've seen so far.
Yeah. So, whenever a creature with a -1/-1 counter on it dies, draw a card. Hey, that's neat.
Hey, look, there's your commander.
That's that's a pretty good one.
That's a build around me effect.
And his ability, well, you don't even need to build around me, though, because his first ability, his activated ability, 1 a black and a red, put a -1/-1 counter on another target creature. Huh.
Yeah.
How about that?
Pretty good.
But, I mean, he is just a 6/5, and there's no Theros god clause on here. There's no Amonkhet god clause on here, so you just kill him, right? Well, you can, but it's not gonna stick, because when the scorpion god dies, return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. The next end step. End step. So you kill it, and it just goes right back to your hand. Like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, I like to think that this is what, like, evil god Squee would do. It's like he doesn't have time to wait till next turn. Back to the hand right now. But yeah, it's pretty intimidating that this is also just straight up a creature. Like, here it is. It's a creature. Doesn't have any attacking or blocking restrictions. It's always a creature. Have a 6/5. This reminds me of the cycle of big dumb things that were in the Shadowmoor Eventide era, only without the hybrid mana stuff.
Oh yeah,
like more of a demigod or revenge kind of thing. Where like this guy's 2 colors, he shows up, he's really big, and 5 mana, you get a 6/5 with some abilities. That's pretty good. And then next turn, you're probably at 6 mana, which means you could potentially use that -1 counter ability twice. So if he's not the biggest that turn, he will be by the end of it.
Yeah.
Regardless of card draw, you just make whatever can kill him smaller.
And he's really hard to permanently get rid of. Now, there are plenty of exile effects and even discard effects, so it's not like he's insurmountable, but
right.
He's harder than usual to get rid of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The only other thing to really note about him is that it does specify another target creature for the -1/-1 counter. So you don't have the fun of just throwing a counter on himself when he's dying to get another card.
Right.
You have to have somebody else. But it can be one of your creatures. Like, if you have to chuck one of your guys, it can become, spend 3 mana, draw a card. That's cool. Presumably you'd like to do that to your opponent's creatures, but it's an option.
The Scorpion God is not picky.
No. This is the guy that The Rock wishes he became.
His art is also so insane.
He's very big.
And impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm just imagining you're sitting around with your friends. You're like, oh, dude, let's play EDH. Okay, cool. What you got? I got the Scorpion God deck. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to mess with that.
Yeah, you win.
Blowfly infestation nonsense going around.
Oh, God. Oh, God, my head.
Be sweet.
Bill, I hate you all of a sudden. Why do I hate you?
You know me.
So did you want to talk about Semut?
I guess I alluded to it enough. I won't spend a lot of time on it. Semut the Tested is our not ridiculously expensive Planeswalker option in this set, and represents that role of the Planeswalker who isn't part of the Gatewatch or Bolus. So, like one of them from this place. So, Semut the Tested, 2 red-green for 4 mana, Planeswalker Semut. Mythic Rare, 4 starting loyalties, so you get 4 loyalty for your 4 mana. +1, up to 1 target creature gains double strike until end of turn. Pretty good, but not as exciting as it sounds.
It's still pretty good, though.
Still pretty good, but like you're running at sorcery speed, so you're not going to get that cool blowout. Now they're dead. Instead, it's a cool blowout. Oh, crap. Well, I guess a chump block that guy.
Yeah.
But you're in red-green. You can find ways to take advantage of it. -2, Semut the Tested deals 2 damage divided as you choose among 1 or 2 target creatures and or players.
That's really good.
Against the right, board, this is a 2-for-1. If not, you do it after combat to kill off 1 or 2 things that, they blocked with. You got options. Like, it's a flexible ability.
Yeah, and at the very least, it's a shock to the face every turn. Or however often you want to do it, so...
Like, don't be too surprised if someone casts Semut on turn 4 and immediately just shocks an opponent, redirects the damage to their Planeswalker.
Yeah.
Like, even if you don't kill the Planeswalker, you might push them out of range for using the ability they want to use. Yeah. And when this will be one of those Planeswalkers you might not want to use until the second main phase. Like, if you're going to gain double strike, yeah, you probably want to use it the first main phase, otherwise you're dumb. But if you don't use the double strike when you just attack, your opponent now has to do combat math knowing that you've got 2 extra damage to freely throw around after combat's over. And that might make them block differently than they would normally. So that's kind of nice. It's a subtle ability that's probably better than people are going to give it credit for.
Yeah.
Whether or not that package is worth 4 mana remains to be seen. And finally, -7, search the library for up to 2 creature and or Planeswalker cards, put them on the battlefield, then shuffle your library.
Ooh.
I mean, we didn't learn anything, right? No, of course not. Well, at least you can't get Emrakul anymore. In this format...
Well, you also don't cast them, so the Ulamog thing won't happen, and the Emrakul thing wouldn't happen.
Yeah, you just get the rest of the big dumb creature nonsense. Yeah. But, I mean, also you can go get Bolus. Like, why not?
I mean, yeah.
Sure. I mean, it's your library. It's not like that weird... was it Soren who just goes and gets 3 things from your opponent's library?
I don't remember.
I think so. It was either Soren or Jace. It's one of them. Either way, this is coming out of your library, so you should probably be aware of what you've got in there. Don't make the mistake of forgetting what's already in your graveyard, and then you have to just go get 2 boring things. It does say up to 2, so if you screw that up, it still resolves. You just don't get stuff, but presumably you'll find creatures or planeswalkers in this. You can always just go get another Sem with the Tested, since you might have just killed this one off to do that.
Oh, hey, that's true.
So you got some flexibility there. And yeah, so that's the not 7 mana planeswalker option for the set. Neat.
Yeah, seems good.
Yep. And then there's all these other cards that you can learn about on the mana.
Or at least some of them.
At least some of them.
Yeah. All right, then. What's the other? I knew we're missing something. Oh, promos and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, we got promos and stuff.
So yeah, they revealed the 2 Planeswalkers from the Planeswalker decks, Nicol Bolas the Deceiver and Nissa Genesis Mage. But they're Planeswalker deck guys, so whatever.
They're very unlikely to bust anything.
Yeah. We've got Draft Weekend, which I'm guessing is a new thing they're doing, or do they start that with Amonkhet? I can't remember.
Draft Weekend.
I don't keep track of these things anymore.
Is that the replacement for launch party stuff?
I think it is, yeah.
I think that they've renamed that so many times now.
Yeah.
That I don't know.
So we've got the Ramunap Excavator, which is a Naga Cleric for 2 and a green. That's a 2/3 that says you may play land cards from your graveyard. Huh.
Yeah, it's got some Crucible of Worlds nonsense going on.
Yeah, and since...
It's going to be responsible for some nonsense by the end of it.
Yeah, even if it's just, cycle this and then play it, that's still really good.
Yeah, that'll go pretty far. It doesn't feel like a lot, but it's probably better than you think. And inevitably, someone's going to do some busted nonsense with it for some, of the land that have abilities on them. This is affordable. And in a deck that's doing funny land things, it's extra affordable. It's also a 2/3 for 3, so it's not pointless to have on the battlefield once you've dug out what you need to dig out. I don't know. It may be one of those things that ends up in a busted legacy combo because it's cheaper than running Crucible of Worlds.
Yeah.
I think.
How
much is Crucible?
What? It's pretty out there.
Yeah, because Crucible of Worlds is 3 mana as well.
Yeah.
But you can't attack or block with it. It's been printed enough times that I don't know how pricey it is. But hey, here's an option in standard. So that's cool.
There you go. The buy a box promo is the aforementioned Wildfire Eternal, that thing with Afflict 4.
Yeah, he's got like some neat art in this one too.
Yeah.
I like how he's got that sort of fire rainbow going between his hands. Magic!
Yeah, the more you know.
The more you burn.
Next up, game day cards. The game day participation is a full art Abrade, which is really neat. Choose 1 for 2 mana, instant speed. Deal 3 damage to target creature or destroy target artifact.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I like that. Do you want to run Shatter? I do. Do you want to run Shatter that can also kill creatures that aren't artifacts? I do.
Yeah, what is
Excellent.
it? Shatter, what's 2 mana? Volcanic Hammer. It's Shatter and Volcanic Hammer in the same card.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Wow, now that I've said that out loud, that is pretty sweet.
That's really sweet. Like, that's great.
And then if you make top 8 of game day, you get the Adorned Pouncer, which is
a kitty.
It's a kitty. It's a 1/1 for 2 with a double strike, but it has Eternalize for 5. So you get a 4/4 with double strike, which for 5 mana is pretty good.
That's sick.
It's pretty good.
This is one of those things where you run the 1/1 double striker for 2. It will probably trade with their 2-drop or maybe even their 3-drop. Or you might even get to throw it into some ridiculous blocking situation and use the first strike to actually survive it. Who knows? the thing is, your opponent might also just not want to let it die because they don't want to deal with that on turn 5. And who would? That's sick. Also, it's a kitty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
if Cluze were here, he would be happy too.
He would. Although maybe not with this art, but yeah. And then the Game Day Champion, or Game Day Mastermind playmat is a super sweet nickel bolas looking smug and raining purple fire down on the world.
That's one of those things that's really cool, and I wish it wasn't just a game day thing, because it means you're probably not going to be able to get it in any other capacity. But it looks really good. Like, that's the kind of arrogant playmat that you play backwards so it stares at your opponent the whole game. That's just nice.
I hadn't,
Yeah.
I hadn't, You're a bastard, aren't you?
Well, I've never had a playmat like that, so I've never had an opportunity to be that bastard. But yeah, it looks sweet. I like it. That's just one of the cooler ones that we've seen in a while. It's not like the old days of the super bright orange nickel bolas playmat. That was icky.
Then we've got the invocations. All but 2, I think, of the invocations have been revealed, and they're in the set, so they haven't revealed them yet.
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So yeah, we've got 22. That sounds right.
Yeah.
And these are not what I expected.
I mean, it's like From the Vault Legacy, right?
Yeah. So wait a minute. How many did I say? 11? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's see. That would be 5.5. Okay. So I'm just gonna read off the first half of these, and then Bill will read off the second half. You ready, Bill?
Sure.
All right. We have Armageddon. Yeah, okay. Capsize. Forbid. Old school Magic players are wincing right now, and I feel you. Omniscience.
Omniscience.
With super sick bolus art.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Opposition. Sunder. If you didn't wince at that, you're a monster. Threads of Disloyalty. Avatar of Whoa. Damnation. Look at that. We couldn't get Damnation printed forever. Now we get 2.
That's a really good Damnation picture, too.
Yeah, it's more bolus art. Desolation
Angel. The wallpaper that they put out of that one.
Oh, that'll be so cool. Desolation Angel and I think Diabolic Edict is the first half.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll pick up from here. Doomsday.
Whew, that's really ominous looking.
Yes, like the art on these is so good. I wish they were in bigger. It's like that is like the one drawback of the frames that I'm sticking with disliking.
This card right here, Doomsday specifically, is one that makes me sad that the art is so de-emphasized on these.
Yeah, because it really feels like this would be one of those full art cards that you would get for a game day or something. It's just huge and amazing. Also, the card's sick, but I mean, they all are.
Well, freaking Doomsday, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so then we get No Mercy. Then we get Slaughter Pact, as in I kill you now and pay later. Get Thought Seize, which is here to make Cluze uncomfortable. Blood Moon, which is here to make Cluze happy. Yep. Boil, which is something that we probably shouldn't tell Cluze about in public. Would be awkward.
Look at the art on Boil, too. Is that not insane?
Yeah, that's some biblical stuff right there.
Which I think is the point of some of these.
Yeah, it totally is. Like, this is the sea boiling away because you've just destroyed all islands with a red spell. It's exactly what Cluze lives for. Then you got Shatterstorm, because I don't want your artifacts. They're gone now. Through the Breach for your deck. Instant Arcane. Yeah. Then you got Choke, which is admittedly one of the harder ones to read in this font. And
it's another one that would make Cluze mess himself.
Yeah, like a lot of these cards are just things that Cluze likes.
Huh.
You got Lord of Extinction. And, hey, it's that guy we just talked about. It's the Scorpion God.
Yeah, it is. This is the paparazzi caught him going out to the grocery store.
This is the Scorpion God when he's like, I want some Pringles.
Exactly.
Like, he is like, this is kind of like when you got Earl the Miststalker just sort of hitchhiking. Like, it looks really out of place compared to all the super epic others. The art is still amazing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, in the other one, he's all busy Scorpion Godding his way through a wall like a Kool-Aid man from hell. But in this one, he's just like, oh man, I need to go pick up TV Guide. I don't know what's on. Like, it's just different.
Really? just say Kool-Aid Man from Hell?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my god. Oh, name of the episode. Name of the episode right there.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh my god.
The funny thing is, with that title, they're going to think we're talking about Bolus, and that's just extra bonus funny, too.
Oh, I don't know why that hit me so wrong. Oh god. I'm dying.
Excellent.
Okay, I'm alright.
All right. So, yeah, those are the things that we have going on here. Those are your masterpieces. I am really looking forward to when these get larger art. So the thing is, I'm looking forward to when I go to Dragon Con this year, or the next time I go to a big Magic event, because those are where you often get to see the big, like, original scale art for some of these things, or at least the giant prints, because this set aesthetically is 1,000% on point. They really, really went crazy with some of this art. And the level of detail is just insane. Like, I look at Capsize right here at the top, and they're in a sea of blood. Like, this boat has been destroyed. These smaller boats are destroyed. I'm pretty sure they're just floating on blood. It's just crazy. I don't necessarily want that on my wall, but I want to see it so I can appreciate it to scale.
Yeah.
And I just want the Omniscience to be a playmat or something.
Surely it will be.
One of the most intimidating Nicol Bolas pictures I have ever seen. Like, you see that and you know you're done. Like, that's it. That's the Nicol Bolas that defeats the Gatewatch.
Yeah. Also, look at Forbid right next to it. Is that Hazaret getting toe up?
I think that's Hazaret when he's walking outside and then all of a sudden he gets that burst of wind and remembers he's not wearing pants.
Oh.
Because he's dropping the bident, like there's like a billion birds or something flying under him, or bats or whatever those are. I think they're birds. And no, that is just like, you can't see what's behind the mask, but you're pretty sure it's not a happy face. Yeah, like these are just great. They're just so epic in scale because you're dealing with gods and stuff here. You're dealing with gods. You're dealing with a planeswalker at the height of his power. Like the Doomsday one is another one where it's just like, this is a thing where you know definitively that you've come to the wrong plane. You're in the wrong neighborhood. Nicol Bolas is in charge, and you were dumb and arrogant to think that you could show up and like do the trials and somehow get somewhere. This is not going to end well. And they all capture that amazingly.
They really do. Oh, so sick.
Yeah.
I wanted to point out Forbid because it looks like, just from that picture, it looks like Bolas might be doing away with the old gods, the former gods.
Yeah. They can't be doing well. Also, like, what is going on in opposition?
How did I know? That's the one you were going to ask.
Like, what is happening in this picture?
It looks like a bunch of people fighting against, like, a plague of locusts.
I think it's a plague of locusts, but, like
giant monster locusts.
Yeah, these things are huge.
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot they can do about it. Apparently tapping for these guys is being swarmed by biblical justice or something. Like, this is terrifying. Yeah, this is just great.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've harped on that long enough, I think. But
I think so.
Go look at the art. It's cool. You're not going to see all of these cards in person by the nature of what they are, in all likelihood. So go look at the card image gallery for these things. It's a separate link from the actual card image gallery, and check it out. And when the other two come out, I'm sure they'll be amazing too. They're probably more gods or something.
Seems good.
Yep.
So, we're still not done. Do you believe this?
Oh, man. It's a wonder that we have so much to talk about since we cut half of the week out by doing an episode on Tuesday last week. This is the stuff where they're like, we should probably announce the ban and restricted updates early because otherwise they're not going to remember all this other stuff too.
Pretty much. So the other thing that happened on Friday is Dan Burdick wrote the play design article, which apparently this isn't latest developments anymore. It's play design. Huh. So that's neat, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is written by Dan Burdick, the guy who is the head of the team. And he starts off by giving his Magic Street cred.
Which he has,
yeah. If you've never heard of him, well, go read the article. Link's in the show notes.
Yep.
And he introduces the team and explains essentially what play design is. Now, we're not going to go over all of that because that's what the link in the show notes is for. But
Yeah.
I really, having read this now, it's still a whole lot of, well, we're working on it. And you can tell that it's a bunch of hand waving. We're here to make it better. Trust us on this.
Yeah.
But looking at the team, I think they can do that.
Yeah, they've pulled together some people that know what they're doing. This isn't like we grabbed like 6 interns and we locked them in a room until they solved standard 2 years from now. Like, no, this is very much people that know how to take cards and do something amazing with them and probably find more things than they're doing right now. Since this is going to be their dedicated role, I think they're putting, as much effort as you would hope into avoiding messy standard problems like we've just recently had. So,
yeah. So
I don't think this group of people would make the mistake of Felidar Guardian.
I hope not. So let's run through the team real quick. We've got Ian Duke, Adam Prozac. These names ringing a bell to you?
Yeah, I've heard of these people before.
Yeah, we've got Brian Howley. Howley? One of those. I'm going to say Hawley. Let's see. 2 Pro Tour top 8er, Andrew Brown. Melissa DeTora. Andrew Veen, who is from Duel Masters. Paul Cheon. Yeah, that Paul Cheon.
That guy.
And then Dan Burdick himself.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, like this is pretty significant. And yeah, starting, I guess, this coming Friday, Melissa DeTora is going to be running this column and occasionally pulling in some other people as well. So I'm curious to see what they're going to talk about. But
I'm sure this was latest developments, which has been around for actually ever.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure it'll be more of the same.
That would be my guess. It's just sort of a small rebranding to it.
Yeah.
But hey, they're putting effort in. Here are the people doing it. So sweet. Magic may not die.
Also, for those of you who haven't been around forever, you should open this article, if for no other reason than to look at the picture of baby Brian Kibler in a Rent t-shirt.
Look at him.
Ain't he cute? So yeah, I think this is a good thing. Hopefully it will be a good thing. We will find out in a year or two.
Yeah. We have to give them some time for what they do to actually be implemented, but I'm sure they're right on it.
Yeah. And finally, before we move to Vegas, yeah, we've got the release notes for Archenemy Nicol Bolas. So
yeah, that came out last week. So
yeah, if you have any questions about how it works or any of the card specifics, then well, here you go.
Yeah. Like most of this is a rundown on the schemes and how they work and interact with things because everything else is existing cards. So, but there you go, along with the rules of how this works and everything. So, resource.
Yay. Link in the show notes.
Yeah.
All right. So, Vegas. Now, given how long we've been talking already, which is, let's see here, an hour and a half, we're going to run through this fairly quickly. Sorry, but surely you understand because there's bigger things going on than
and it's tournaments. 3 Grand Prix.
Yeah.
All of which, like one of them is limited, so you're expecting it. The other 2, it's Legacy and Modern, they're important, but we've only got so much time.
Yeah. So, Legacy. Now, all of these were really well attended.
Yes, the numbers are nuts.
Even Legacy, that got the short end of the stick by being on Thursday and Friday.
Yeah.
Still had 2,656 people playing.
Yeah.
Damn.
Pretty crazy for a dead format, right?
Just damn. And Andrew Calderon won playing Death and Taxes. With
I like the idea of Death and Taxes taking Vegas.
This since Vegas was, built by the mob, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And what are the only 2 things that ever get the mobsters?
Well, death and taxes.
Death or tax evasion. Yeah. So yeah, that's Death and Taxes. I don't see anything too special here, and I'm not going to look too hard because we've got 3 tournaments to go through.
Yep.
Jonathan Semaine?
I assume it was Semaine.
Okay, we'll go with Jonathan Semaine.
Semaine. It's called John. No, it's Jonathan because it's typoed his name.
Huh. He's playing
Jonathan.
Blue-Red Delver with it's this deck that has popped up with Bedlam Reveler in it, which always trips me out because Bedlam Reveler at the time that it was printed was just, oh, look, this is cute.
Yeah.
But here it is, seeing Legacy play still, and I like it.
Well, it has the magical text on it, which says, this cost way less than it should if your deck's right.
That is
which
very
is
true.
a key to functioning in Legacy.
He's also running one Miracle card, but not one of the dirty ones. It's Thunderous Wrath.
Yeah,
Sick.
Thunderous Wrath is still good, but it's not one of the ones you generally think of as broken.
Yeah.
It's only 5 damage for a single red. That's fine. You usually have to chuck an artifact or a goblin to do that.
I mean, we could probably call this Blue-Red Prowess, and it would be a little better, because it's running Monastery Swiftspear and Storm Chaser Mage and the Bedlam Reveler, which does, in fact, have prowess. But anyway, moving on. Chris Eali, let's say, is running Grixis Delver in third place.
Zombie Fish.
With Zombie Fish. Gotta love the Gurmag Angler. I don't know how long it's been since we actually said what Zombie Fish was.
I mean, I assumed it's spelled Gurmag Angler, but it's pronounced Zombie Fish.
Yeah, it's true. In fourth place, Jody Keith is running Lands. Good old Lands. What is this crop
awkward
rotation?
Vanna Bond art.
What is this crop rotation? Oh, dual decks Nessa versus Obnixilis. Okay. No wonder I didn't recognize it.
Yeah, that thing where they take the most recent printing is only going to get more and more awkward as they print more and more of these like invocations and stuff.
Luckily,
I can't just look at...
As we mentioned last week, they're going to be doing that a hell of a lot less frequently, so thank goodness.
Yeah. They're really messing with like Legacy and Modern deck lists.
Yeah. But yeah, it's lands. What do you want? Okay, moving on. Patrick Tierney in fifth place running Teamer Delver. Hell yeah, Nimble Mongoose. Look at him. Sorry.
Take that, snake.
Yeah, you little snake.
You little no-legged bastard.
Wow. What was this? Sixth place, Samuel. I did not plan ahead. Hang on. I can't parse this out in my head.
Tharmaratum?
Tharmaratum?
I don't know. I'm pronouncing it like it's a magic card, and I apologize.
Yeah, sorry about that. But you should come to expect that we don't pronounce names properly on this show. He's playing Grixis Delver, also. Yep. Jacob Haversat is running 4-color... Well, it's... how do you actually spell his name? Leovold. 4-color Leovold.
Yeah, this is full of typos.
It is, isn't it?
It's almost like they were staying up late in Vegas and then typing it up in some kind of crazy stupor.
Well, I mean, I did see Corbin Hossler said that he worked 65 hours over 5 days. So, yeah, I think you spelled it out perfectly.
I mean, like, I'm not even judging for it. I'm like, you were working your butt off. These are typos that I'll make fun of, but it's not personal.
Yeah, we are contractually obligated to make fun of your typos. But yeah, 4-color Leovold is... Well, it's running Leovold.
Yep. Elf Advisor.
And a bunch of things that make Leovold better.
Yep.
In those 4 colors. So moving on. In 8th place, Daniel Cathro is running Sneak and Show.
Emrakul Prime.
With Emrakul Prime and, of course, Brand. Oh, no, the new invocations haven't kicked in yet, so we still have the weird Jace on the Planeswalker symbol, Omniscience.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be replaced by the much more intimidating one soon.
Yeah, if you mouse over to Force of Will, you'll see the new Force of Will already. There.
Yeah, like the old Omniscience Jace is pretty much a Jace walking into like a mono art kind of thing, but not nearly as cool.
Yeah.
Jason Chan, your art's great. It's not Scary Bolus.
And I'm almost certain that we saw this art way before we saw the card. Yeah.
Yeah, they used that art like a year or so before that because it was one of the things they put on the website.
Yeah.
It was just neat concept art.
So real quick, real or not, maybe? Top 8. Where's the rest? I saw a link. There it is. It's up at the top where I can't find it. Real quick, the rest of the top 16, we've got more lands, Sneak and Show, Grixis Pyromancer. Oh, wow, it's the Grixis Delver without Delver. Huh, neat. Blue-White Control, which is interesting. Michael Burnett. It's running True Name Nemesis and Stoneforge Mystic and Jace the Mind Sculptor, so lots of things that make people cry. And Snapcaster Mage, for that matter. And then the Fork of Doom and the Umezawa's Jite and the Batterskull, and then your standard blue and white cards. But it's pretty heavy blue-white control with True Name Nemesis with a big weapon as a finisher. Seems good. 4-color Deathblade in 13th. Another blue-white control deck in 14th. And another Grixis Delver and a Sultai control to round out the top 16. Neat.
Ladies and gentlemen, Legacy without top.
It is glorious. So let's go to Limited, where the top 8 is just stacked.
Yeah.
Now, because it's limited, we're not going to go through deck list because that's silly, but we had 2,562. So about what? 90 people less?
Who were presumably participating in Legacy Day 2?
Could be, yeah. So wait, that's not it. Where is the... Here it is. Okay. Nope, this is modern. I lost it. Here we go. Here it is. So, Tiago Saporito won. Taking it down. Steve Rubin in second. Paul Hare in third. Sam Pardee in fourth. Bolan Zhang in fifth. Zumain Chen, I think I got that right, in sixth. Andrew Cuneo in seventh. And Mike Sigrist in eighth. Two of those people are, ranked.
Yeah.
Two? I think just two. Maybe three. But for some reason...
I know at least two of them are.
For some reason I'm having trouble finding where I found that, so never mind. We don't care anymore.
Amazing.
Good on all of them. Let's go to Modern, where a crap load of people played. Now we've got, 3,264. Damn.
Yeah. And again, factor in that some people day 2 to the previous day's event. So
yeah.
It's kind of the weird thing when you have these overlapping events.
Okay, these are the ones that are not in order. So, Manny Devoudi? One of those. One playing Decepticons. Or Affinity. Lots of evil robots out to steal your Energon.
Via cranial plating.
I mean, that's a way to get all of your Energon out at once.
I mean, how well do you think the Autobots would handle the Decepticons if they actually had cranial plating? I don't think it would end well.
I mean, they had Unicron. That might as well be cranial plating.
And did they have Unicron, or did Unicron have them?
Either way, he was working against what the Autobots wanted, so it counts.
Yeah. Silly Orson Welles. Look it up.
In second play, who's in second? Oh, I hate it when they're not in order.
Marie.
We're wrong. Tell me this guy is from France. He is. Yeah. Okay, good.
Cool.
That would be why I can't pronounce his name, because I don't know how you pronounce French things. My bad. But he's playing Mono White Hate Bears.
Yeah?
Huh.
Rocking that restoing.
Yeah, it's the lots of blink things and things that make your opponents miserable.
Yeah, with 4 Aether Vial. Probably always with 4 Aether Vial.
Probably. In next place, third place, Benjamin Corsi. Ben Corsi is running... Oh, we've got Decepticons again. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Run to the hills. In fourth place, Alan Wu. Where is he? Here he is running... Oh, we can call this one Affinity because it's got Thoughtcast in it.
Look at that.
An actual card with actual affinity. How about it? Wow, are the robots going to run rampant in Modern now? Probably not.
Yeah, we'll see.
Seeing an alarmingly small amount of Death Shadow here. In fifth place, Matt Sorensen is running... Oh, Eldrazi Tron. Nice. Any deck that has a... Oh. Look over in Artifacts. Look at that one of.
Ha! It's a dog.
There's a Basilisk Collar.
Yeah.
In this deck, which, for those of you that don't remember, equipped creature has Death Touch and Lifelink.
Yeah, it sort of turns your creature into a vampire Nighthawk sometimes. Pretty gross.
Especially when they're already Eldrazi. Ugh. Hey, look, sixth place, Craig Wesco. I bet he's playing Weenies. Yep, Green-White Hate Bears.
So, the Basilisk Collar with the Walking Ballista is sick.
I think that's probably why it's in there. Yeah.
That's disgusting. It just starts sharpshooting things while gaining life. That's great.
Yeah, Walking Ballista says, that's dead.
Yeah.
For no mana. That's dead. And I gain life.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah. But yeah, Craig
Nice.
Wesco, of course, is playing green-white with things. He doesn't have the blinking thing that the mono-white version does. He's running Loxodon Smiter and Kasali Pride Mage and Scavenging Ooze and Voice of Resurgence and Collected Company. You know, that deck.
You know the one.
You know the one. Because it's Craig Wesco.
Because it's good.
And also that. In 7th place, Daniel Wong. Daniel Wong is playing blue-black taking turns. Holy crap, this made the top 8?
Yeah, dude.
And if you're going, huh? This is the deck that runs Time Warp, Temporal Mastery, Part the Water Veil, and Exhaustion, just because it's funny.
Dictative Crewfix.
Yep.
Ew.
Yup. That Howling Mine with Flash, so you actually can benefit from it first.
Yeah.
I also find it really funny that he's running Commandeer.
Just imagining the misery of dealing with Dictative Crewfix and Exhaustion.
And
You just feel so far behind when they're not taking extra turns, and then they take extra turns anyway.
Yeah,
And yeah, Gigadrouse is like the iconic blue, what, you're having fun? No. Spell.
Gigadrowse and Exhaustion is enough to make anyone just cry.
Ugh, that's messed up. So hey.
Yeah. So Daniel Wong, you're a terrible person, but you look so happy and cute, so we'll just let it go.
You're taking turns from other people is what you're doing.
They made it to the top 8 of a GP. They don't need any more.
Yeah.
And then in 8th place, Paul Peterson is running Naya Burn, which is that burn deck that has Boros Charm, Lightning Helix, and what's the green for? What is the green for? Wait.
Destructive Rivalry on the board.
Oh, okay. Seems like there's usually another thing that goes in here, but okay, that works. So yeah, there you go. That's the top 8. Oh, was there a metagame breakdown by chance?
For Modern? I know there wasn't for Legacy.
Yeah, there's not for Modern either. Okay, just checking. So
Womp.
running through more of the top whatever, we've got 9th place Breach Titan. Oh, okay, yeah. Summoner's Pact through the Breach, Primeval Titan, Woodfall Primus. That's funny. Okay, moving on. Abzan. You know that deck. Oh, there's Death Shadow down in 11th.
Chillin'.
White-Black Smallpox in 12th. What? Gideon Ally of Zendikar, Liliana of the Veil, Sorin Solemn Visitor, Bloodgast, Fatal Push, Anguished Unmaking, Collective Brutality, Damnation, Inquisition of Kozilek, Lingering Souls, Smallpox, Thoughtseize. Holy crap, look at this. This looks really frustrating.
Yeah.
Sweet. More Death Shadow in 13th. Oh, here's more robots. Decepticons. Eldrazi Tron. In 15th. 16th is more Affinity. Wow.
There's a lot of robots in Vegas.
What's Devoted Company? Oh, the Devoted Druid. What's the card that goes with Devoted Druid? Vizier of Remedies. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Okay, the Collected Company version. Naya Burn in 18th. Green-White Humans. Huh.
I haven't seen some of these cards in a while.
Yeah, I was just looking at Abzan Falconer going, I forgot about that.
You remember the Mayor of Avabrook?
I do. Sometimes it flips over and smashes things, and other times it's just a lord for all of your humans.
Yeah, and this deck, I think it's happier being the Mayor of Avabrook side.
Oh, yeah, totally. I guess unless you really just want to throw down on someone. Other than that, I think you probably get more value by it being a human. We've got Jeskai Control, more Eldrazi Tron, more Grixis Death Shadow, Rallier Zoo. Knew we'd see one of those eventually. Blue-Black Fairies, what?
Oh, dude, it's got Tassiger in it.
It does. And Ancestral Vision and Bitter Blossom. So it's a blue-black control deck that runs Bitter Blossom and Spellstutter Sprite, and that's literally all the fairies.
Well,
okay, this makes more sense.
Cryptic Command was an iconic card for the Fairies deck, too.
Very true.
It's just good in everything, but it was really iconic in the Fairies deck.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, man, you get hit by Tar Pits and Mutavault. Mutavault's a fairy.
Mutavault is a fairy.
Yeah.
Let's see. More Grixis Death Shadow. Mardu Burn. What's in Mardu Burn? Oh, Bump in the Night. Oh my god.
Spruik.
Not even not even playing. I like Spruik. He's a good guy. Bant Eldrazi, Grixis Death Shadow, Naya Burn, Grixis Death Shadow, Dredge. Here we go. Look at Nathan Holiday playing Dredge. Look at him. That deck is dead because they got rid of the... No, it's not. Shut up. Oh, and then more Decepticons. Wow. Okay. Interesting.
There are a lot of artifacts this weekend.
There were. I wonder if that's a taste of things to come.
Maybe it's just really well positioned against the Death Shadow meta. Like, we don't have a metagame breakdown to tell us, but Death Shadow has been stomping all over Modern lately.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just good at it.
Clearly it just stomps faster. Nice. Okay, then. So that is Modern this week. Now,
Yeah.
GP Vegas was more than just 3 GPs. Like, I know the Magic Art Show that Mike Linneman and crew put on was there. Like, a full truckload of cosplayers were walking around doing their thing.
Yeah.
There might have been, like, a truckload and it was towing a trailer full of cosplayers. Like there were a bunch.
There were a lot. They were pretty high profile on Twitter all weekend. Like, lots of antics. It was a lot of fun to watch the event stuff going on, even not being there. I mean, this is kind of like the big public crazy Magic event of the year because it was one in Vegas, which is apparently where we throw the big crazy Magic events in North America.
Mm-hmm.
And having, 3 formats of Grand Prix happening alongside announcements and, new set previews and everything all weekend long. Yeah, it's just the big crazy adventure. So we did not go, but it looked like a lot of fun. And people online seem to be having an amazing time, followed by a miserable return to work at the beginning of it.
Yeah.
As is the way. So shall we quickly jump through the relatively little Magic Online news and then go to sleep?
Yeah, let's do that.
And by that, I mean you get to post an episode.
Yeah, let me do that.
Right. So because we did Magic Online news last Tuesday, when we did last week's episode, I don't actually have as much to go over because updates happen Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Last week we went over the big announcements that they posted on Tuesday. They didn't post anything new and special on Wednesday because it was all wrapped up into the 15th anniversary announcements and all that other stuff. The one thing that we do have that's new is they put out a bug blog update on Thursday last week, and there's just a few things on it that I'll hit quickly. So first up, attack planeswalkers that change control mid-combat are still dealt damage. That shouldn't happen because when you change control of anything, it's removed from combat, and you can't redirect damage to a planeswalker that isn't under that person's control. So that shouldn't happen, but it's going on. It's a mistake. I'm sure they'll get that fixed relatively soon. That's probably just a layers or timing issue in the code. Sorting a binder by rarity, instead source it by name. Clearly, this is going to bring down Magic Online, and all will be left in ruin. So fun while it lasted. Good 15 years, give or take. Moving on. If you open an event that is between rounds, the display timer will show 00:00, even if there is time remaining. So when we were talking about Hour of Devastation, this is that hour. You're trapped in a time warp. This is like when Johnny Bravo woke up and he was trapped at 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock. This is your fate in Magic Online now. In rare cases, reconnecting to a draft as the pick timer hits 0 will duplicate the drafted card. Once deck building starts, it is correctly removed. So,
okay, good.
That seemed really significant until I got to the second sentence. Because I'm like, wait a minute, you should never be able to influence the cards. And you can't. It's just a graphics problem. So don't freak out. Also, don't get the genius idea to disconnect at 0 to get 2 copies of something. You're an idiot. Don't do that. And finally, targeting comments do not appear when selecting permanents that have a trigger on the stack. So what we're coming out with for all 5 of these updates is that the attacked planeswalkers one actually matters a little bit as that's a functionality problem within the game. Everything else seems to be an interface issue. So the world is not destroyed, except for those of you trapped in 0/0 forever and that, binder sorting that has actually killed Magic. But yeah, there you go. To keep up with Magic Online news, tune in on Tuesday, the 20th, for the new updates. If you play Magic Online, be aware of these bugs. don't try to exploit them. Like if you, for some reason, find a way to exploit that thing about attacking planeswalkers, I don't know what that would be, and you do it on purpose, someone can report you for cheating because somehow you've got an advantage out of it. Don't do that. It's stupid. Be aware of all the things. Click on the link here. If you want a recap of what I talked about last week, I've left last week's link in the show notes, but for the most part, you'll want to tune in to see what new is announced this week. And that's the world of Magic Online for now.
Sounds good. But
okay, so sign out time, I guess.
Yeah, guess so.
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter at SqueeGoblinAbob. There's no Y in Goblin because it stays in Vegas. And past that, just as a fun aside note, this coming weekend, my friends and I are participating in an event called the 48-Hour Film Festival, where you are given a prompt on Friday afternoon. And by prompt, I mean you're given a genre, you're given a line of dialogue that has to be in the film, and you're given a necessary prop that has to be included. And from that point, you have 48 hours to script, cast, costume, film, edit, and submit a short film following those criteria. So it's a crazy adventure. My friends do it every year. I did it once last year, and I'm looking forward to trying that again. If you've ever gotten involved with amateur for fun film, it's a lot of stress and a lot of fun at the same time. I would recommend trying it if you're vaguely interested in it. You don't have to be an actor. You don't have to be a writer. A lot of times, if people are interested in these sorts of things, they just need extra help. Like it could be anything from, I need you to sit here and run lines with this person, to I need someone who can hold a, broom that we've taped something to properly, like whatever. There's always stuff. Look around, see if anything like that's going on around you. It's a fun community thing. I'll probably be dumb and tired next Monday. Well, actually, no, I'll probably be rested by then. But if you don't see me on Twitter this weekend, that is part of the reason why. Past that, yep, a lot of fun. I'll now pass it over to Cluze, who is not here. Take that, Cluze, at La Cluze, spelled just like it is in the show notes. I'm not going to give you anything to tweet at him because I don't know when he's going to get back, but I'm sure we'll come up with something funny in the future. Beep boop, Robot Cluze 9000. Go Chewie.
Yeah. So, you can find me anywhere on the internet as The Manapool. That's Twitter at The Manapool. Facebook.com/The Manapool is The Manapool's Facebook page, obviously. YouTube.com/The Manapool. I just finished putting up the final episode of Injustice this morning. Wow, was that really today? After spending 8 hours rendering the Manapool episode video, it feels like it was yesterday. No, that was totally this morning. So yeah, if you have been waiting to watch the Injustice playthrough till it was done, well, it'll be done probably by the time you're hearing this, because it'll go public. But it was a lot of fun. It's a real shame that Injustice 2 is not available on PC just yet, but oh well. Also, I guess Tavern Brawl and podcasts and all kinds of other stuff. Now that Injustice is done, I can start doing other stuff. I also still need to record the final 1, maybe 2, depending on how badly I do, episodes of Magic Duels story mode. It's going to be bittersweet.
For it's gone forever.
Dun dun dun. And yeah, if you want to come hang out while I play games live, then you can go to twitch.tv/themanapool, where I actually played some Rocket League the last time I streamed. What? You remember that game? Oh my god.
Is that what you play when Overwatch isn't having events?
Well, it's what I play now that I had, hard drive space to install it again.
Yeah.
I played it for only the second time in many, many months. The first time had been just a couple days before that. And it's good to know that most of the muscle memory is still there. My ability to judge distances and whatnot is completely shot, but that'll come back as I play more. So yeah, I have not touched Overwatch since the event ended, but I think that's normal.
Yeah, that's pretty normal. But hey, now we're on the moon.
Wait, did it come out?
It comes out tomorrow.
Well, I guess I know what I'll be doing later this week.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what's going on there. I really want to start playing something a little more long form on Twitch. I was thinking of one of the Telltale adventures, Walking Dead or Wolf Among Us or something like that.
Or Batman or something.
Well, no, I don't have that one. It's too new. It's still expensive. But
Gotcha.
something, that will take longer that I can come back to multiple times over the course of many streams rather than just a thing that I play while I'm streaming, like Overwatch or Hearthstone or Rocket League, something that has more to it than just the gameplay,
Mm-hmm.
So if that sounds like a good idea, then shoot me a message and let me know what would work. What do you think would work? And if I don't have it, then, think of something else. Let's see. Anything else? I think it's probably enough. So, you can email me, Chewie, that's CHEWIE, at mtgcast.com, or at themanapool.com. They both go to the same place, whichever. And then there's the Patreon. If you want to help support what I do with all of this YouTubing and Twitching and... That really sounds bad. YouTube videos and Twitch streams and audio podcasts. There we go. That sounds slightly better.
Mana pooling.
Then you can check out the Patreon wherever a little bit helps, and I really do appreciate it. It's patreon.com/themanapool. You can get YouTube videos and Manapool episodes early. You can get the odds and ends, all the stuff recorded before and after, both Monday Night Magic and the Manapool. Oh, hey, yeah, while I was waiting on those to render, I actually listened through 2 of them, so I'll have 2 to post very soon, because I didn't want to render those into an audio file while I was rendering the video for fear that the world would explode.
And it might have.
Yeah, and it might have. I mean, it took 8 hours to do a freaking video with a static image. Anyway, what's the other thing? I was just rattling off a list of things. Oh, and you can also, if you're feeling really generous, get your name on the end slate of every video that goes up for each month that you support at that tier. So yeah, and since Patreon just rebranded, changed all of their logos and stuff, I am going to redo the end slate probably next month for real. I've been threatening to for like 2 months now. Well, now I'm gonna.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Scream.
Thank you for that very dramatic, whatever that was.
Freakazoid, dude.
So, yeah, I think I'll be done now. So as always, a big thanks to Bill and not necessarily to Cluze for joining me this episode.
Cluze would have been here if he could, just so we could get excited about Boyle.
And Choke.
But alas. And Choke.
And over 2,000 people playing Legacy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like, way more people played Legacy than Standard at this event.
That's true. I mean, Legacy came in second as far as attendance numbers out of the 3, so that's pretty good. Considering, like I said, it got the short end of the stick being on Thursday and Friday. And, it's a dead format.
Yeah.
So with that, we will be done. This has been Monday Night Magic number 565. Thank you all so very much for listening, and go play some Magic.